Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 66 of the Yorkshire Gamer podcast. And today we are going over to Italy, where we will be speaking with Lorenzo Sartori. And Lorenzo is the owner of Dadi Piombo, and they're an Italian publishing company who do a magazine of the same name and also produce the Impetus Rules, which many of you will be familiar with, and other sets that we're going to talk about during the course of the interview. So before I do that, I'd just like to say this is the 1st of February 2025, so the first episode of the year, and this one's been delayed by 2 or 3 weeks as part of the recording got lost, would you believe? But Podcasts, all the people who do the background software stuff for this have managed to recover it, so I've finally got it out a couple of weeks late than I would have liked to, but it's here. And this is the day before the VAP and Attack show in York, and I will be there tomorrow with an Italian Wars game. So if you listen to this on the Saturday, or if you're listening to it on the way to the York show today, which I know a lot of people do, then hopefully I shall see you very shortly. I am also doing a listener phone-in episode very soon, and by very soon I mean probably next week. So I've got 3 or 4 slots available, and the idea is that people come on. You don't have to be a name in the hobby, just like a listener phone in on the radio, and I'm going to do 10-15 minute slots with people just to discuss a topic or have a chat around something, whatever you want to talk about. So if you're interested in doing that and coming on and being a caller on the listener phone in, then drop me an email to Yarkshire Gamer, that's YARKSHIRE, at gmail.com, yorkshiregamer@gmail.com, and you might be on. You never know. Need to have a decent internet connection and be available for 20 minutes or so during the next week. So if I hear from you, you never know, you could be on the next show. So we shall go over to our interview. And Lorenzo, of course, is a natural Italian speaker. I have about 6 words of Italian, which you will hear throughout. In fact, I learned 2 new words of Italian during the course of the interview. So the interview is, of course, in English. So thank you very much to Lorenzo for taking so much time to speak in what isn't his native tongue, and he does a cracking job over the hour and 15 minutes of the interview. The magazine itself, I've put some photographs towards in the past. Excellent quality, really good, and there is now an English version that comes out a couple of times a year, so keep an eye out for that. So without further ado, I would normally say get a brew and some biscuits, but we're going to Italy, so get yourself a nice glass of Chianti and some Garibaldis, and without further ado, here's the interview. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 66 of the Yorkshire Gamer podcast. And today I'm going to be combining 2 of my favourite things in the world. Number 1, wargaming. Number 2, Italy. And my guest is the owner of an Italian's wargame publish company. And apologies for my pronunciation. Dadi Piombo?
Dadi Piombo.
Piombo. Ah. Grazie mille. Look at me. A company who produce Italian Wargames magazine of the same name, and they also publish various rules books for wargaming. I'm sure you'll be familiar with the likes of Impetus and Baroque. We'll talk about those during the course of this interview. The magazine has recently started producing an English language version, including the best articles from the Italian magazine, along with some new content. So today we're going to chat about Wargaming in Italy, as well as the magazine and the rules. But first we're going to talk to our guest, Lorenzo Sartori, about his Wargaming life. So hello, Lorenzo.
Hello everybody.
Hello. Do we say buongiorno?
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, excellent. That's it. I don't know any more Italian.
Okay, pizza maybe.
And so, Lorenzo, whereabouts in Italy are you?
I live in Crema. It's a small town not far away from Milan, 1 hour by car from Milan.
Yeah.
So most of my war game activity is in Milan, usually. Though in my small town for several years, I organized what was the biggest show in Italy.
Oh, excellent.
In the early 2000.
Yeah.
For 10 years, it was called Dadi.com. And it was also attended by English traders also.
Wow.
Yes, we have 4 or 5 traders coming from UK. And it was a good one. Probably the biggest in the South Europe.
Excellent. So you be fairly close to Pavia, will you?
Yes, 1 hour.
Yeah.
1 hour and 10 minutes by car.
Because it's 500 years since the battle in a month's time.
I live 20 minutes from Agnadello.
Right. So another famous battle.
And the Marignano is not much far away. So there are some battlefield of the Great Italian Wars not far away from where I live.
Well, I love the Great Italian Wars, and we'll talk
Yes,
a lot about that later on. But just to introduce yourself, Lorenzo, what was the thing that got you into history, that got you into soldiers when you were young? How did you start with the hobby?
Yes, I started to have an interest in toy soldiers when I was just a child. I started to collect Atlantic soldiers. Atlantic, probably in UK, Arfix were much more popular. But Atlantic, they made advertise in some magazine when I was very child, and I still remember those advertising.
Yeah,
it was of course another age of. But I started an interest to collect them, but I start to war game much later when I was around 20, 25 after university. And when I started, it was the period where there were rules like DBA, DBM, Fire and Fury, Tactica in the early 90s. Okay, this was the period I started to play war games in a club in Milan, and I entered the competition circuit of DBM that was very, very popular in Italy. Italian war games are very competitive.
Okay.
So competitive that there were not conventions, there were not shows in Italy, just competition, until I started to organize the first show in Italy in 1999. 1999, yes, 2000, around this period. And it was fun because I had the lucky to go to UK. I went several times to UK, and I attended some British convention, some British shows. Yeah. I remember I went to the Redoubt in Eastbourne.
Yeah.
Probably don't know. I don't know if it exists anymore.
Yeah.
That show.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Claymore in Edinburgh.
Yes, very good show.
These were my first British show, and I wanted to do something similar in Italy. Of course, something smaller because we have not as many traders as you have. So it was more difficult, and wargamers in Italy were more self-oriented and with a competitive approach. So a show is a club affair, a different organization, but I think it started to have an interest and to develop also this aspect of the hobby.
Oh, it's good. And history then, did you enjoy history as a child at school, or?
Yes, always history is for me history is the starting point more than the game. For me the game is just a way to reenact history, okay, but the game itself, I'm not particularly interested in the game itself. I like, but as an extension of history and as an extension of toy soldiers.
Yeah. And what sort of periods of history, really interest you? Is it all of it, or which bits of history do you like?
I have many interests. But probably if I have to choose one, is the period going from Agincourt to Pavia.
Okay.
So 15th century up to the Great Italian Wars. This century is my favorite period. I also have an interest in second half of 19th century.
Yeah.
American Civil War, Risorgimento. I have an interest, but never had the chance to play.
Yeah.
to collect and to find the right, the proper way to play the game this period. World War II also, and in general, ancient period, the medieval period.
Is history popular in Italy? Is it something that kids like at school, or is it kind of brushed over? How is it dealt with?
Not as much as should be. I think that I don't know how he's in the school English in the English school history. I think we do few hours of history in the school, and every change of government they change the program, and I think that there's not as the same interest you have in UK, and there is not the same interest in the military history.
Yeah. So do you read a lot of history books to back up your hobby?
Yeah. I read a lot of books. Mostly they are English books. Yes, I have hundreds of books. I show you
here behind you. Yeah.
My oops.
Oh wow! So for the listeners, Lorenzo's just showing his massive library, which is extremely big. Oh, fantastic! Do you have a war game set up at home?
I have a war game table in my laundry room.
Laundry room, excellent.
Yes, and as it is a laundry room, there's also a big chaos, not only miniatures. And I don't play much on this table. I have some. It's a nice one, but it's mostly a place where I put things I buy. I have to paint. It's a mess. I usually go to play. In the last year, I got to play in a shop in close to Milan, in the north of Milan, and they play regularly on Tuesday. And when I have time, I go there to play.
Do you? We'll talk about the magazine in detail later on, but do you run the magazine from home, or do you have an office?
What I show you, my room is my office.
That's your office as well. Excellent.
I'm a one-man band.
Brilliant. Well, they're the best. So, of all the different aspects of the hobby, do you paint your own figures, or do you have people, paint for you?
I paint my figures, and though lately, if I found painted figures, mostly in bring and buys. I take occasion to buy already painted figures.
Yeah.
It's rarely I made them paint. So I prefer to paint, but I'm very slow painter.
Okay.
So sometimes I watch your project with great envy.
Do you enjoy painting? Do you enjoy the process?
I do like, though if you paint not much often,
Yeah.
you lose the hand. I don't know what you say in English.
Yeah,
you are more difficult to paint. I feel that, but I think I have enough models to play. Of course, they are never enough, but it's okay. It's okay to play. I have always project. It's important to have always project.
Yeah.
If you finish all the project, there's no fun.
No. You must have something to do. And do you have a big collection of figures that you've got over the years?
Yes, I think so. Not as big as many other war games I know. I have several armies in both 15 millimeters and 28 millimeters. In Italy, 15 millimeters was much more popular than UK before the plastic changed the market. Okay, this because many rules played in Italy were based on 50 millimeters. DBM, for example, or other Napoleonic sets, all 15 millimeters. Now you play in Italy, you can find 50 millimeters in Flame of Wars, of course, because it's the standard scale. But everything moved to 28 millimeters because 50 millimeters are very hard to find now. We have some producer in Italy, for example, Meriton, but not as many. And people now move to 28 mostly.
Yeah. So do you have a big cupboard full? How much space does your collection take up?
Oh, I have my laundry room, the big mess, with and also in the garage of the car
and the figures.
Yes, figures, magazines, books. It's a mix. Yes, the house is not small, but plenty of things.
Wargamers can always fill an empty space with figures or books or rules. We're very good at that. And you've said you enjoy the history very much as well. What project are you working on at the moment? Have you got an army or a period that you're working on at the moment?
I'm trying to enlarge my collection of Wars of the Roses.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I've started to paint American Civil War in 28 millimeters because I had the collection 10 millimeters.
Yeah.
But I'm moving to 28 millimeters. These two are the main project I'm working on. Then there are many others. For example, I paint for skirmish games.
Yeah.
These are small project, so maybe you have to paint 20, 40, 50 models, not big projects, but sometimes more relaxing because you see the hand in a short time, while other are long projects.
Yeah.
And I don't play in a club, in a specific club, and strange enough, because I never found a club enough close to my house to share projects. I have several friends all around Italy, and sometimes I play here and there, but I have not a club close to me to share projects. So most of what I paint for myself, for my collection, and I try to make both armies, so opponents, and this way. And most of my friends play more competitive games. Okay, so if you want to play with them, you have just to prepare your army and play. For example, one of my usual partner is fell in love with Saga.
Okay.
So sometimes I paint Saga. I don't like too much Saga, but it's very popular in Italy. I think it's, from a gaming point of view, it's an excellent game from the game point of view. From historical point of view,
not so much
difficulty to enter in the philosophy.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. So we'll widen the conversation a bit to Wargaming Italy as a whole, rather than just yourself. You know, in the UK we have sort of like fathers of the hobby, if you like Peter Gilder and Dom Featherstone and Charlie Wesencraft. When did wargaming start in Italy, and are there any similar names that come to your mind about, you know, that started wargaming in Italy?
I think we had some pioneers, but not as important as you have. Of course, we absorb a lot from wargame from UK or United States. It's we consider an English hobby.
Yeah.
Okay, Anglo-Saxon hobby. So most of wargame in Italy in the 70s. I think this started to be popular in the 70s. Derivation from the English and American war games. We have pioneers like Luigi Casali in Pavia. He was one of the first Italian war gamers. We have an important club in Rome. We have some pioneers, but not so popular, not so as you have.
Yeah. Luigi Casali, is that the chap who wrote Red Shirts? The book on, I've got a book called Red Shirts by Luigi Casali. It must be the same guy.
Absolutely, yes.
And it covers all the uniforms from the Risorgimento, Garibaldi's troops, the Bourbons, the papal troops. They're all in there.
It's him, yes, yes.
Excellent.
Then I remember Guglielmo Marlia was one of the developer of DBM.
Oh, okay.
Not the auto, but in the playtesting team, and introduced this game in Italy. And when I started to play, I went to his house to learn to play. It was very he made a lot to share the hobby, to spread his knowledge on the hobby. He worked for a while in UK, so imported much of what he have learned there. We have some names of the Italian wargame maybe don't live anymore in Italy. For example, Alessio Cavatore.
Yes, I've met Alessio.
Some moved to Nottingham and were involved in the game workshop. Or
is it a big hobby in Italy?
Not as big as in Great Britain, of course. I don't know. To make numbers is very, very, very difficult. We have a big community for fantasy.
Yeah,
of course. Warhammer mostly, and from the historical point of view, I think there will be, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 war gamers, maybe some numbers like this. We have club, not few clubs are very big, and mostly they are in Milan or in Rome.
Yeah,
and but the history change every year, because we have difficulty to find a place to play. So some clubs then merge, then split, then merge, then split. It's like Italian politics, same.
Do you have like I call them like similar hobbies, like military modelling and model railways? Are they popular in Italy as well, and bigger than wargaming?
Yes, popular train modeling.
Yeah.
In the last years, I see that many model shops disappear.
Yeah.
So I think this is a worldwide situation, I suppose. So when I was young, I made model kits of airplanes, tanks. Now I think it's more. It was a generational hobby.
Yeah.
And this disappear, and as a consequence, I think that in general the modeling is not an hobby like it was probably in the past. At the same time, I think that war game, if we include fantasy, if we include skirmish, if we include also some games, there are a mix between board games and miniature games. I think they are still popular, and they involve also new generation of players, gamers. Maybe not as much as required, but still alive as a hobby.
Yeah, because when me and my wife go on holiday, we go to Como quite a lot.
Okay.
And there's a nice model shop in Como town, or there was last time we went, and it's always busy. But they sell like model racing cars and obviously Ferrari, Lamborghini.
Yeah, model race is popular. Model race, yes.
Yeah, that's good. So do you have wargaming shops like the one that you go to? What sort of things do they sell?
There are some good wargame shops. The one I go to play is north of Milan, in Sesto San Giovanni, is in the outskirts of Milan, near Monza. It's not big shop, but has a very good choice of miniatures, scenics, and there are space for 4 or 5 tables to play. So it's good. It's good. Then there's another shop in Brescia. It's a bit bigger shop and with tables and a good choice of models. You find mostly plastic.
Yes.
So you find Victrix, Perry, and Fireforge. Fireforge is an Italian company.
Yeah.
You find mostly this kind of product. And linked to what are the most popular games in Italy, that are Protection, Flame of War, Saga. I think that these 3 are the most popular at the moment from historical war games.
Do those rules come in Italian language, or do you translate from English?
Well, for many years, most rules were only in English, and there were unofficial translation. Because people could not understand the language, or not enough to play war games, and so there were some unofficial translation. I think that in the last years, most of the war games rules more popular are now officially translated into Italian. We have the translation of Saga from an Italian publisher, that is Vea Editore. It translates several sets from abroad, and we have the Italian version of Protection. I think also the last edition, Flame of War. I think so. So, but many still prefer the rules in the original language. Yeah. You can find a lot of books and rules in English in the Italian shops.
Would translating into Italian make it sell more, or does it not make much difference?
It depends on how many copies has already been
Right.
sold
Yeah.
in the original language.
Yeah.
Sometimes, in most cases, wargamers get both versions. So maybe it's not because you have already the English version, you don't take the Italian version. Sometimes it happens that you can take both, but of course, for someone, the Italian version comes too late, and they prefer to stick to the original version, unless the Italian version has some updates or some clarification inside. So it can be a little bit different product.
Is there other rules that are published initially in Italian that then might go into English? But are there is there an industry of Italian rules?
Well, apart from my rules from Dadi Piombo, I have a friend called Massimo Toriani who published other rules some years ago for World War II, for modern period, for ancient period. Then there is Andreas Filigoi, known as Ganesha Games.
Right.
Ganesha Games, but he mostly published just in English because this is his main market, and not everything is then also available in Italian. Then there are some other rules, but probably not as popular to go to across the Alps to exist also in other languages. So maybe just played in Italy.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's good. You mentioned clubs before. So Italian war games clubs, are they normally linked to a shop, or do they have their own premises, or how do those clubs work?
It depends on situation. For example, in Milan, there were probably 7-8 clubs.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yes, but maybe they play in the same place.
Okay.
There is a place in close to the shop, still in Sesto San Giovanni, that is called Casa dei Giochi, the House of Games.
Right.
And it was a school. It was a primary school that was changed into a ludothèque. Okay, place to play.
Yeah.
They play. There's a bar inside.
Ooh,
there
nice.
is a big room and some small rooms. They play many games, not just war games. For example, you can find every Tuesday the Risico competition or chess. But most of the war games club have a room in this place.
Oh, okay.
So maybe the club 1 has the same room on Tuesday. The club B has the same room on Friday. But they have different name.
Yeah.
Different club. This is typical Italian. And also in Rome, I've heard that there were several clubs, but now they are all in the same venue.
Okay.
And they became just one big club.
Nice.
To have a space is very problem. Then in a smaller city, then the situation maybe is more regular.
Yeah.
So there's 1 or 2 clubs, and they have their venue. And
we've spoken about clubs, and you mentioned earlier on bringing an English type war game show to Italy. So what? So talk a bit about that show and war game shows in Italy.
War game show in Italy. There are 3-4 war game show in Italy, focused on war games, not just general games. I organize Milan War Games.
Yep.
It's close to Linate Airport, so it's very easy to reach. We have 13 edition.
Yeah.
So we want to let it grow, though we have already packed the venue.
Okay.
So, but I would like to give a more international approach.
Yeah.
To involve also some clubs from abroad. We are hosted in fair the place is under the control of a society that organizes several events. Okay, we organize, but all the business is made by this organization.
Okay, yeah,
we have like Excel in London.
Yeah,
but if Salute was not organized by the club, but directly from Excel.
Okay, yeah,
with the help of a club.
Yeah.
So we have some limitation in some choice of strategy to develop the show. Then close to Pistoia, there is in Tuscany, there is Ellana. This is probably the oldest wargame show in Italy. There's another show in Tuscany. Then we have Lucca Games. That is the biggest show, general entertainment games, comics in Modena, and then move to Bologna. We have Play, but these are more general games.
Yes,
with a section of war games. Then there are several open days of clubs, but more random, with not great advertising.
So the show in Milan, is that like a UK convention with demonstrations and competitions and traders, etc.?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I will send you a link to a video so you can see. You. Yes, is on the British model. We have not as many traders as you have.
Yeah.
This is one of the difficulty. So we have a lot of games, a lot of table of clubs involved, competition, and maybe we have around 20 traders.
Okay.
Not many.
Yeah. That's not too bad. Do the Italian companies support the shows? Do they come to the show? Fireforge and Militon and Shaco 64. Do they come to the show?
Sometimes yes, sometimes not. For example, Fireforge don't come.
Right, that's a shame.
It's a shame. Yeah, they're not close. They are from close to Naples, so
right.
There's a distance. I think this because Fireforge is more international oriented.
Yeah,
it's more international oriented. In the past, yes, it came. Militon, yes. Strategia and Tattica now changed to Strategia Nova. Came, yes. Most of traders are present. Yes.
Yeah. So, are Fireforge the biggest war games company in Italy?
I don't know if it's the biggest. It's the more international, popular.
Yeah.
Because of it's the only one that make plastic.
Yes.
Figures for 28 millimeters. We have other companies for 20 millimeters plastic, 20 millimeters, like Waterloo or Italeri, but these are more for the modeling world than war games. Though the small plastic are still popular in Italy. You find in the shows games with this scale.
Yeah. So I've got some Shaco 64.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they do. These are Bourbon Guard chasseurs from 1860. They do a very specifically Italian setup, don't they? They seem to be more Italian, if you know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like Fireforge International, Shaco 64 Italian.
Yes.
Yeah. Are they popular in Italy?
Not so much. Yes, but not as much because probably they don't attend my show. Some small companies in Italy are very, very small.
Right.
Are very, very small. So they are not the possibility to move too far.
Yes.
Maybe they make some local show, small show, maybe just open days, and some don't don't move, and we have not. Though we made convention shows since the early 2000, okay, so more than 20 years. Still, many wargamers and maybe companies that are created by a former wargamer, okay, have not the show culture inside.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not as also we have probably more difficulties from the Italian laws to make such a business.
Right. Okay.
So they born after the web. Okay, so they prefer to have a shop online and not to go to show. It takes time. You have to prepare stock. Lot of stock to go to you need a van to transport all this kind of business with few shows is probably not worth. If you live in England, you can do this kind of business because maybe you have 20 shows you can move, so you can make an investment, but you have 1 year of events to follow. And in Italy, there are 2-3 typical wargame shows. The other are gaming convention where it's not exactly your business, okay? And they are not cheap to have a stand. So maybe with only 2-3 wargame show, maybe not close to where you live, is not something what to invest in. Maybe they prefer to invest in online shopping.
It's an interesting business model. So do when it comes to periods of history to war game, you've talked about bolt action and popular games. Do people follow Italian history with their wargaming? Are the Great Italian Wars popular? Is the Risorgimento popular? Or do people tend to go with what's popular in the UK?
Mix. For sure, we have a big influence from British history and American history. This is because also a lot of military books came from UK or United States. So it's more common to find a good military books on the American Civil War than on Risorgimento. Also, if you live in Italy, okay? Above all, for military history, maybe you can find a good book on Risorgimento from a political point of view, from a social point of view, but from a military point of view, with those information a wargamer is looking for, it's very hard to find, and sometimes you find in English. Maybe you find in English from an Italian author that find a British publisher because they have a bigger market. And then you buy the English version. It happens. So, of course, a lot of British and American history is played in Italy. There are some periods we play. I think Great Italian Wars is not, in general, the most common period to play everywhere, but is appreciated. The medieval age, of course, ancient period, of course, Rome is every war game has a Roman army. World War II, it depends on how the lists are made, because Italian war gamers are mostly competitive. So if you see a bolt action game, okay, you will find Italian if Italian are a strong army, or you will not find Italian if Italian are not a strong army, because if to win the competition you need 5 mortars and 2 light tanks, you will look for an army list with mortars and 2 light tanks.
So winning is more important than being proud Italian.
For a big part of them is to win.
Yeah, but to fly Italian flag, not so important.
It depends. It depends. Yes, but it's not so. We were not so nationalist.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is because it's linked to our history.
Yes.
Okay, it's linked to our history. We have our history had a glory with the Romans.
Yes.
Okay, so it's okay. The Middle Age, okay. Then Italy started to be a conquered nation. After the medieval age, while other nations became nations, Italy always divided into small states fighting each other, and became a land of conquest. I think this, as a consequence, also our history in World War II made military history not so appreciated.
Yeah.
And seen as an ideological.
Right.
For example, if you like military history, you are a fascist.
Okay. Yeah.
To simplify.
Yeah.
Okay. This created a different culture on this hobby.
Is it? Do you see that change as the time from World War II gets longer?
Yes,
Yeah.
changing.
Yeah.
It's changing.
Yeah. So, are young people as aware of the history as yourself?
I think that in general, young people are less interested in history.
Okay.
More in the game.
In the game, yeah.
Yeah. So it's changing, but in the direction of more abstract approach.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice to hear. Well, thank you for educating us on Italian wargaming. So we'll move on now, and we'll talk about this. And for members, I don't record the video for this, so I don't know why I'm doing it. This is the magazine. So if you pronounce it, Lorenzo,
Dadi Piombo.
Thank you. I'm not too bad with that. Dadi Piombo.
But all British say Dadi and Piombi, because probably make a connection with the E.
Yeah.
The Dadi.
Yeah. I didn't realize there was a B in Piombo. Anyway, never mind. How did the magazine get started? Were you involved from the very beginning?
Yes, I founded the magazine. Always been a one-man band magazine, and at the start, before the True magazine was created, I created a fanzine.
Yeah.
Okay, it was called Dadi and Piombo, but it was not a true magazine. We were in the early 90s. Internet there was not even imagined.
Yeah.
And the idea was to create something to link the clubs.
Yes.
Okay. So the idea was this: you are a club or you are a single player. If you want to write an article on wargames, you send to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, not with an email, but you send me the
post.
Yes,
the letter.
The
letter, yeah.
Okay. Another club do the same. Another single player do the same. I collect all this. I create a cover. I send a physical copy to each club. Then each club can photocopy to the members.
Yeah.
Okay. The cost was just the shipping cost.
Yeah.
It was just there was not the internet. So then people started to say, no, I want a personal subscription, because my club then don't send me the copies.
Yeah.
And so the project was too big. It became too big, and I said, or I close it, or I turn into a real magazine. I decided to turn into a real magazine.
So what year was the first real magazine? What year?
2000.
2000.
Spring 2000.
And still printing today?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Still printing today, and for a while it was Italian and English language inside. And these copies with double language are available on Wargames World.
Yes,
as a PDF. There was Italian and aside the English translation. Okay, but then shipping cost increased too much, so it was impossible to ship abroad with a standard cost. So it turned to be just Italian. And last year I started the international version called Dice and Lead. Have you seen the English version?
I have, yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And this periodical, and with the articles, the best articles of the Italian version, and 1-2 issues per year. I plan to make 2 issues this year, and just a way to share what happens in Italy. And at the moment it's mostly historical military articles. I'd like to improve to give space also to national vision hobby, so to have some features of what happens in Spain, what happens in UK, what happens in France, what happens in Italy, and it's a way just to share our visions.
Yeah, it's something I'm very keen to do with the podcast is to get guests from other countries to talk about the hobby, how it's seen in Italy, in Spain, in Austria, wherever, Australia, New Zealand. So that's lovely to hear. Has the introduction of PDF made it easier?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. I have good sales from Wargames World.
Yeah.
Where I place the PDF version of my products. I think yes. Someone is afraid about piracy, of course, because PDF can be shared. But I think that it's not at the end the problem.
Most wargamers are quite honest and don't tend to copy, I think.
Yeah.
So but with shipping costs and production costs, it must be much easier for you to produce.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you still do a big print version for shops in Italy?
I have few shops that takes the magazine or the rule sets, and so I make one print for all. Now we can digital print, so we can choose and add or reduce the printing numbers. I started to use Amazon during the COVID period, because of course during the COVID period everything stopped.
Yeah.
You have no possibility to make orders, only PDF.
Yeah.
And so I started to use Amazon, and my rules are also in the Amazon version. It's a bit different with the Amazon standards of paper, and but they are good enough. The magazine doesn't lead made with the Amazon system.
Yep.
This helped me to ship worldwide, while before it was absolutely impossible with the postage cost 3 times the cost of the magazine.
Yeah. So. Are subscriptions important to you?
Yes, subscription to the magazine. Of course, this are only for Italian wargamers. Over the years, the printed magazine have not the same numbers as years ago. This is a common situation for all magazines, not only for Wargames magazine. So numbers are less than the past.
Yeah.
But and it's also a generational approach to the physical things. Some prefer the printed version because we have to do with physical things. We use toy soldiers. Yeah. Okay. Maybe you move to PDF because you have no room.
Yeah.
Okay. For new generation, it's a bit different. The new generation, because they are less linked to the physical object. I see sometimes new players, young people, they don't paint miniatures.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're not interested in the models. The models are just cheats.
Yeah.
To move on the table. They change if they are not enough competitive. So why lose time to paint and collect? This is what I see.
Yeah.
But still, this is like all hobbies.
Yeah.
A question of contagio. So if you see other war games do paint, then you paint.
Yes.
You have to show how enjoy this hobby.
Where do the articles for the magazine come from? Do people send them in?
Yes, people send me the articles. Usually I have also a lot of articles. Just in few cases it happened, I say, I have not enough articles. But usually the contrary. I have an article I have written last year on Maclodio, on the Battle of Maclodio.
Yeah.
I still postpone because I give space to other contributions. So I put in as a reserve. So it's good.
And do you write articles yourself then?
Yes, sometimes I write articles. Yes.
Yeah. And photographs for the magazine.
Photograph for the magazine is sometimes more important for me than the article.
Yeah.
Important in the sense that maybe I have an article, I have a good article, but I cannot find good pictures.
Yes.
So that article stay for a while in reserve. So this is why I say it's more important, because sometimes I have the article, but I have not good pictures. Yeah. So I'm always looking for good pictures.
And sometimes you have to come to Yorkshire for your pictures.
Yeah. I will do. Don't worry.
Well, my pictures of my papal zouaves in the magazine here from issue 85. Very, very good issue. Very good issue. And do all your articles come to you in Italian, or do you have people who send them to you in English and you translate?
Mostly are Italian, but sometimes I have English article in English, and they are always more than welcome, because it's not a problem for me to translate in Italian. And sometimes it's happened that I ask to not Italian wargamers for an article, and this is mostly, and this is strange, but it happened, for painting guides.
Yes.
For paintings. We have good painters in Italy. We have good painters, but
Leonardo da Vinci was quite good. Leonardo da Vinci was a good painter. Michelangelo.
Yes.
You have good painters.
No, I'm not. Michelangelo. Yes. Michelangelo. Yes. It's not so cheap. they are good painters, but they are probably less social.
Right.
So it's more common to find a Spanish painter or British painter that post good pictures. So you see, you can ask for, or maybe they do painting guides. And I always look for painting guides, tips, modeling tips, and it's not easy to find. From this point of view, Italian wargamers are a bit lazy.
So how often does the magazine come out? How often is it published?
Three issues per year.
3 per year.
It was 4 in the past. I reduced to 3 because it's taking time, and I need time for the rules for other books.
So, if people want to subscribe, what's the best way to get hold of the magazine?
You have to go to Dadi Piombo website.
Yeah.
It is dadipiombo.it or .com, and you can subscribe. I made subscription of basically only in Italy.
Yeah.
Because of postage.
Yes.
Is to, but for the PDF version is possible, of course.
Yeah.
But is an Italian. Is an Italian. Then there is Dyson Lead in English, but of course, it would take a bit of time to have more articles on the English version.
Yeah. So is Dyson Lead English for Dadi and Piombo?
Yes.
Ah, excellent. I've learned more Italian today. Excellent. Oh, brilliant. Well, it will be 25 years of the magazine this year?
Yes, 25.
Yeah. So
this is the 26th year.
26th year. Wow.
We started the 26th year.
Wow. That's good. That's good for a magazine to be going for so long.
Yeah. Yes.
And any plans for the future with the magazine? Stay as you are, or any plans?
On the magazine, nothing in particular. I want to make 2 issues of the international version this year, and I'm working, of course, on new rules. I want to release within the year a skirmish game for Napoleonic and Age of Musket. It's an evolution of Smooth and Rifle. There was a set I released as a PDF. The new game will change the name. It would be a different, but on similar approach. And then I want to work on the following of Basic Impetus.
Yeah.
Basic Impetus covers the period from the biblical to Renaissance, and I want to make the period after this.
Yes.
So up to colonial, with already inside army list. So is a massive battle, but not with huge of model, easy to play. Of course, you can also place 1,000 of models because the system allow you to. But the basic list are small, and you can multiply or make your own list, of course. But with a system that works for a big period, but easy to learn to play.
Yeah. So I was the next thing I was going to talk about, and you've naturally come on to it, was rules. Impetus is quite big throughout the world. It is and published by yourself. Are those rules written by you?
Yes.
Yeah.
With the help of playtest, other gamers, suggestion, lot of contribution.
So just tell the listeners then a little bit about Impetus and what it does and what it covers.
It covers from the all the ancients, so from the biblical to the Italian wars and up to samurai period for Far East. It extend up to 17th century.
Yeah.
So then there's a Baroque.
Baroque,
that is the following period, basically the 17th century.
Yeah.
And in the future, I plan also to make a Napoleonic and other periods, more specific. While the basic version, while the basic impetus that will turn into basic battles.
Yes.
So the will be a generic set of rules for all the periods. Going to the impetus level, so with more detail, there will be different sets of rules because they need more details. It's a long project.
Yeah. So those rules, the impetus rules and Baroque and all the ones similar, are they for units of troops rather than skirmish?
Yes, these are for unit troops. I think is probably the first rule set that introduced the big bases. I call the big bases.
Yeah.
Because I come from the DPM world and warg, small bases, and I always suffered this. The idea of these small bases. I like the diorama approach.
Yes.
And where the number of models not that important is what you see, what they look like. Impetus started in this way to have a game with bigger base, to have a game with progressive of losses. That's something that DBM is not. As a fan of Wars of the Roses, I felt that DBM was not the game I wanted to play with the Wars of the Roses because there was not progressive losses. So Longbowman and Archer were basically useful, and it was not what I like to see visual. So I wanted more depth, more. So the idea started from this, then evolved to a set. Basic Impetus, that is the simplified version.
Yes.
Okay. Is very easy to start with because you can play with not many models. At the same time, you have the visual of a big battle with a grand tactical battle.
Are they designed for competitions or friendly games or both?
I would say both.
Yeah.
They can work for competition also. I think that most of war games, at least in Italy, they have one evening to play.
Yes.
So apart few clubs that can stage a game that can last a weekend or a day or more days, most of our games go out after dinner, want to make a game and be back, not too late because the day after they have to go to work.
Yeah.
So I wanted a game that could last 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, and with a point system that allow you to make your own army and you do the same and they are compatible. We can enjoy an evening. At the same time, I'm not a competitive player. I like the social aspect of the competition. So I like sometimes to make competition just to play with different people, to learn the rules. But I'm not a true competitive. Okay. So the rules are both. There are people who makes competition. For example, in Australia, it's very popular, the game. I see they still make a competition. I see that in Moscow, they make a regular competition every year of Basic Impetus. In Italy, we have made for a while. Then there was the COVID stopped, and the competitive community need a lot of time. And I have not enough time to let it grow. you need someone who do this.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I have not people to bring this. And for me, it's not that important. If you want to make a competition, it's okay. If you don't want, you want to play in a different way, it's okay.
How do the rules work? Are they based on how you command your troops or what weapons they have? How does it work?
In Impetus, you have more than one command division. Okay, you have usually 3 commands per side per army. Can be 2, can be 4, but around 3. And initiative is decided by the roll of the dice, combined by the quality of the leader, and it's up to you to choose which of your command you want to activate, and me the same. For example, you want to activate your left winger, and I want to activate my center command. Okay, we both roll dice. Who win? Activate his command. So the activation is random. And you can decide which try to start. You may have more chances to activate because you are a better general on the side, but maybe you need to activate before the other side.
Yes.
So it's up to you to decide. And when you activate a command, you move one unit by one unit or a group of units together, and you complete all the action with that unit or with that group of unit. And when you have finished any activation until the complete of the turn.
Yeah. Oh, good. And would you say they were complicated or easy? How hard are they to play?
I think they are easy enough to learn as the basic mechanics.
Yeah.
Of course, all implication of the game require experience and some situation with some melee, or maybe require a bit of experience and study of the rules too. But the general mechanics are easy. The general mechanics, in my opinion, are easy, all 6-sided. I realized that there are many rules now. They are very for dummies.
Yeah.
The level is there to facilitate.
Yeah.
If you want, I move you your models.
Yeah.
Your dice.
Yeah.
If you see a 6 on your dice, it's because it's a 6.
Yeah.
It's a very this is a problem of our times.
Yeah.
The lower of, but I think they are not complicated.
No.
And probably what to start with basic impetus. Once you have learned basic impetus, you want more details, then you can move to impetus.
Yeah, there are people in my Wargames club who play impetus, and they enjoy it very much, and they've started, as you say, with basic and then moved to extra impetus and so on. So you are also looking at skirmish wargaming. I think you've got smooth and rifled, lords and servants. Is that where these Napoleonic rules are coming from?
Yes, the Napoleonic rules will be an evolution of smooth and rifle.
Yeah,
as a mechanic with many changes. We are working 2 years of work to develop this with help of a Polish wargamer who helps me, and we are working on this set. The idea is that you field as many models around as you can fill with Saga Army, but with the Napoleonic age, and with evolution to American Civil War, Risorgimento, whatever, in the colonial or whatever in the future. So the idea is basically a quick game, but I'm moving to direction skirmish and massed.
I'm big. Well, the big is very popular here.
Yes.
Okay, well, it's been lovely talking to you today, Lorenzo. There's a couple of questions I have to ask before we go. When you play Wars of the Roses, do you play York or Lancaster?
Absolutely York.
Hey! Oh, that's good. That's good. And we often on our show talk about eating whilst wargaming. Do Italians do that better?
Eating? Do you mean?
Yeah, you have better wine, you have better food.
Not the better war games.
No, but better food. That makes up for it.
Yeah.
Well, it's been lovely talking to you today, Lorenzo. Is there anything you want to ask me before I go?
What is your next project?
Oh God, I haven't decided on a next project because my Italian Wars, Great Italian Wars, keeps getting bigger. I'm working on Napoleonic Plansoir. And I'm also working on World War II Naval, the Battle of Narvik in Norway. So no new projects.
Okay.
I promise. Well, if you just like to say what's good buonanotte, is that? Oh, that's good night, is it? What's good afternoon?
Sorry?
What is good afternoon in Italian?
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
It's the same.
It's the same. So is buonanotte good night?
Good night.
Good night. Well, lovely.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Lorenzo. It's been lovely talking to you today.
It was a pleasure. Ciao.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the interview with Lorenzo there and our little taste of Italy. I certainly enjoyed it, and if you get a chance, check out the magazine and the Impetus Rules that, as I said during the course of the show, are quite popular in the UK already. Mentioned during the course of the show about this thing. I'm really keen to get people on from other countries and do like I have done with Lorenzo today and get a snapshot of wargaming outside of the UK. I know it's very UK US centric, and I've had guests on from Australia in the past and America, of course, and Canada. So, if you are, or you know of somebody in another country other than the obvious ones that I've just mentioned, who might like to be a guest on the show, I can't guarantee when it will be. I've got people who've been waiting over 3 years to come on this show. Hopefully, one of those is going to be on before Easter. I was chatting with him last week. So, yes. Any suggestions, let me know, and you never know, I might be able to arrange something. I've had shows to Argentina that haven't come off and Poland that didn't come off, so I do try, but if there's anybody out there, any suggestions, let me know. So with the next episode, I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be, as I've got so many irons in the fire that have been delayed by this technical issue with this episode. So I've got the listener phone in question, the episode coming up. I'm hoping to be doing a Pavia special with Martin Kelly, who was on previously, and chatting about him putting on the Battle of Pavia at, I think it's Historicon he's doing it. Unfortunately, my plans to do it at the Royal Armies have fallen through, which is a real shame. And then I've got other episodes planned with. I've got a couple of big historians coming on the show, which is going to be really, really nice. Just for like the Nick Jellicoe episode, just something a little bit different. So stay tuned, and as I said earlier on, drop me an email. You never know, you might be on the next show yourself. So until later, see you.